ചാലിയാറിൽ ഇന്നൊരു സ്ത്രീയുടെ കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ട് ഇപ്പോ നോക്കിയാലേ അറിയുള്ളൂ.
I met Vasudevan, a former Panchayat president, in front of the MSA auditorium in Mayapadi. He had been eagerly waiting there for days to see if his grandniece Sarita's body was among the corpses brought to Mayapadi. The pain in Vasudevan's eyes mirrored the sorrow felt across the entire state of Kerala in the aftermath of deadly landslides that hit Wayanad on July 30.
എടാ എല്ലാവരും ഒന്ന് പെട്ടെന്ന് ആരെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഫുള്ള് കുറച്ച് സീനാണ് ഇതിൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും മുകളിൽ ആൾക്കാരെ എടുത്തോണ്ട് പോവാ. പെട്ടെന്ന് പോയോ, എല്ലാവരും മണ്ണിൻ്റെ അടിയിലാ. വേഗം വരി, എല്ലാവരും വേഗം വരി.
Landslides present a distinct and deadly challenge. When a landslide occurs, it tends to affect a smaller area compared to a flood situation. However, landslides are harder to track and study. And in places like Kerala, where population density is high, it can lead to disastrous consequences. And that is what exactly happened in Wayanad. The death toll from Wayanad landslides has crossed 300 so far. The landslides, which originated at an elevation of 1,983 meters above sea level, destroyed the villages of Punjurimattam, Mundakai, Attamala and Churamala. The region has been receiving continuous rainfall since June, and Mundakai and its surroundings received more than 570 mm of rain in just 48 hours before the landslides. This phenomenon, called mesoscale cloudburst, is seen as the primary reason that caused the disaster. Notably, the origin point of the landslides was in an unpopulated forest region. But the devastation reached places like Churamala, which is almost 5 kilometers away from the origin point. Notably, when the landslides started, it was smaller, but as it moved downhill, it accumulated more debris, soil and boulders. And by the time it reached Mundakai and later Churamala, there was a massive flow of material causing extensive damage. Dr. Abhilash is the director of Advanced Center for Atmospheric Radar Research in Kochi, told the week that it is important to have a hyperlocal level of identification of different vulnerable areas to events like cloudbursts.
We have to identify for certain type of rainfall which are the area to be more vulnerable to this kind of rainfall. So that information should be there first place. So that we have to. I think I don't know whether our agencies are having such kind of risk map or vulnerability map. They may be having the slope based landslide hazard model. You know that this landslide will happen in hazard area, but the damage will happen in the no hazard area. So that is what we have to understand. What is the evolving risk and what is after that, what is going to be affected.
Back in 2018, when Kerala faced mega flood, the IMD department had only 68 functional manual rain gauges in Kerala. Among the 15 automated weather stations present in 2008, only 6 were functional. Post the mega floods, the IMD had installed over 100 automatic weather stations in Kerala, though the state's request was to give 256 automated stations. And in the aftermath of the Wayanad landslides, Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan had said that currently extreme rainfall situations are not promptly predicted by the agencies like IMD. Instead, average rainfall is being predicted. While talking to the week, IMD Kerala Director Neera K. Gopal said that IMD is now in the process of getting state government body rainfall data also into their platform for better prediction. Meanwhile, experts like Abhilash notes that in the wake of the increasing number of disastrous events because of climate change, a people-centric early warning system with the direct participation of local community is very important.
Because if you look at the events which is happening nowadays, it is highly localized and only with the help of the local people, community level, equipping the communities, equipping our air, fire force department, police department, revenue department, then only we can we can adapt, because actually we have to adapt to this situation.
Notably, Wayanad boasts a unique model of community-based rainfall observations initiated by the Hume Center for Ecology and Wildlife Biology, a group of wildlife conservationists and researchers. In fact, the Hume Center had accurately predicted that landslides would occur in Mundakai and surrounding areas and had warned the administration.
Our climate action program started in 2018 when Kerala faced massive landslides and floods. So that time Wayanad has got about nearly 1000 plus locations. There was landslides, major landslides, mud slips, and soil piping, and a lot of things has happened. Then again in 2019 it repeated. So that's the time we started looking at why this is happening. Then we did a study in 2018 and 19 mapping all the landslide locations of Wayanad, and we came out with a landslide susceptibility map for the district. And this map is different from the map already existing in the state of Kerala, because we have considered slope of the land. In addition, we also looked at the land fragmentation ratio, linear infrastructures also a factor for landslides. In the analysis, we found that the primary triggering factor for a landslide is the rainfall intensity. So it's like whenever there is huge rainfall, there will be a likelihood of having a greater landslides in that location. And people are being victims of this natural disaster. That is the time we look at how can we track the rainfall. If we track the rainfall, whether we could give early warning to local people. And that is the time we decided a new method where we have divided the entire district into 25 square kilometer grid. That means you have a 5 kilometer length and 5 kilometer width. So Wayanad district has about 2132 square kilometer, 2132 square kilometers, and 8 grids of 25 square kilometer. And each of this grid we have placed one weather station, means one rain gauge and a thermometer. So we try to monitor. When we trained local farmer, teachers, students, and a lot of people interested in weather data. So these trained people, as per the IMD protocol, every day morning around 8 o'clock, they measure the rainfall data and share through a WhatsApp group called Wayanad Weather Forecast. So in that group, everybody will share the data. Once the data is arrived, we will transfer this data into a Google Sheet platform. Then we convert into a GIS platform for making a spatial variability map of rainfall in Wayanad district. So this map is released back to the community. So this WhatsApp group has all the people, including local farmers who are contributing data, the district emergency operating cell staff, the medias of the Wayanad, and other experts, including district collector. So the data is available everywhere.
Understanding the situation predicted by Hume Center data, the district administration made some efforts to warn people. However, the gaps in promptly evacuating the area resulted in significant human casualties. Radars can significantly amplify the efforts in nowcasting and predicting where clouds will be raining in the next few hours and the intensity of the rainfall. However, IMD itself confesses that radar coverage for North Kerala has been an issue always. A new radar for North Kerala has got its approval, but it is yet to be installed.
So that is approved already, and then we are in the search of, we are in the site selection process. Actually, physically we have to go and visit the site. So that is just started. Okay. So after that, it will be. It's a very, not a very large system which we are having Kochi, but it is sufficient enough to cover northern Kerala and then to have some overlapping with the Kochi radars range. So that once it is installed, that problem also will be sorted out. And we are always in the process of improving our network.
Nevertheless, there are many experts who assert that sensitive areas like Mundakai and similar regions in the Western Ghats are no longer safe for human habitation. Kerala has to address this issue of relocating affected populations. However, there is a big challenge in front of the state.
Place like Kerala, the problem is that we don't have space in that way, because it's a very small stretch of land which we are having high mountains, that is upper or highlands what we call, then we have a small stretch of midland, and then it is coast. And sea also we cannot go into the sea, we have to keep some space, and hill also we have to keep some space, and people have to stay in the lower reaches of the highland and in the midland and into the lowland. So that space is very less. So where you will shift the people? Only thing is that should have been, see, all these things, it's all depends upon the vision. if it's an administration or technical or whatever it is, we should have a long-term vision. So long-term vision will work. Otherwise, for now they are thinking about this life, and once all these things are going to, means it will slow down, no, this mellow down all these things, then what will happen? People will forget about it, again the same thing happens.